Hey everyone, welcome back to Rust Admin Academy, where I teach you guys the very best tips and tricks to owning and operating a successful Rust server. On this channel, I do a lot of plugin reviews and tutorials to hopefully show you some of the different cool things that you can do on your servers to create better gameplay for your players, or maybe just to make life a little bit easier for your admins or moderators. And today I'll be showing you one of those plugins that helps your admins or moderators. As many of you already know, there's a multitude of different tools that we can use to catch cheaters, to find people that are doing nefarious things on our servers. One of those very important tools is the ability to actually see inside their inventory so that we can see what they actually have on them. Many of you might already be familiar with the plugin that I'm going to be talking about today. It is Inventory Viewer by Whispers88. It's available from the uMod website. I'll put a link to it in the video description down below. So one of the things I appreciate about this developer is that I firmly believe that if something isn't broke, you don't need to try to fix it. There are people out there right now that are changing a bunch of plugins that don't necessarily need to be fixed because they're not necessarily broken. Now, that all being said, this plugin actually hasn't had an update for over 2 years. And Whispers actually reached out to me and told me that he was making changes to the plugin. Not any detail breaking changes that you see other plugin developers are currently doing to their plugins, but he is actually adding some really needed improvements. So by the time you guys see this video, it should be publicly available on the uMod website. If it's not, it will be very shortly. Whispers and I discussed it. He agreed to release the plugin on the uMod website on the very same day that I launched this video. So working together, hopefully they're coming out at close to the same time. Definitely the same day. So when looking at Inventory Viewer on the uMod website, you'll notice that it's actually used by a couple of different plugins. Obviously, Admin Logger just keeps a log and creates a report of different admin commands and plugins that are used on your server and saves it to a file. Whatever, that's not what this video is about today. The other one is Player Administration, which I have actually done a video on in the past and is a quite powerful plugin. I use it all the time. So Inventory Viewer, this version that you're seeing on the site right now, as well as the new version that's coming out when this video launches, are both usable by Player Administration. Now, of course, there are permissions that are required to deal with when using Inventory Viewer. Don't worry, we're going to get into that in just a couple of minutes. And then the two different chat commands that are available to be used with this plugin is View Inventory, all spelled out just like you see it on the screen right there, or View INV. Srtbull here, during editing, I wasn't very clear when I was talking about these chat commands. So you can either do /view inventory, all spelled out, and then a player's name, or you can be looking directly at a player and do /view inventory, and it's going to accomplish the same thing. Same thing with the shortened version of the command, which is /view INV. So you, of course, can do /view INV and then a player's name, or you can be just looking directly at that player and use /view INV, and it's going to bring up their inventory and show you what they actually have on them. I noticed that I wasn't very clear with that when I was actually doing the initial recording, so I just wanted to break in here and give you guys that little tidbit. So if you want to utilize this opportunity right now to add Inventory Viewer to your server, you can pause this video right now and go grab it from the link that's in the video description down below. If you already have the plugin installed on your server, we can go ahead and get started with it. All right, so first things first, the very first thing that we need to deal with is we need to deal with the permissions. So if you type in chat command view INV and then a player's name, and it responds back saying that you don't have the permission to use this plugin, that's how we know that we have to deal with permissions. In this case, I'm actually going to use Permissions Manager by Stina Maru. So the chat command to use Permissions Manager is /perms space group, and then the name of the group that we actually want to grant these permissions to. Typically speaking, you would add this to an admin group or a moderator group. You don't necessarily want your regular players to be able to have access to view other players' inventories. So /perms group admin, and then we can go to Inventory Viewer, and we can just simply grant all on this particular plugin. Once that's done, if we go back and do the same command again, /view INV, Harvey in this case is just a player that I have on the server. And now you can see on the right hand side of my screen, you can actually view this player's inventory. And as you can see, you can move things around, you can take them out, you can pull items from their inventory into your inventory, you can take items from your inventory and put it into their inventory. As you can see, quite a powerful plugin, especially if you're chasing down cheaters or other players on your server that you think have items that they shouldn't necessarily have. You can actually go into their inventory and actually see what they have on their player character. And then of course you would decide if it's necessary to remove those items or whatever it is that you decide to do. So that's essentially how everything is operating up until today. Basically from the plugin's inception, that's exactly how this plugin operates. Now Whispers has actually added a feature to it, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is in just one moment. But the one thing that I wanted to show you before we get into all of that is how this actually integrates with player administration. So if you're using the plugin Player Administration on your server, you would do /padmin, and it'll bring up the GUI for player administration, obviously. And we can click on to online players and we can have a look at Harvey Specter. Now you can actually actually click on the button right here inside player administration that will actually show you that player's inventory. So rather than using the chat commands, if you're already using player administration, then you have that capability built in. I know that for some of you, this is not new information. I totally understand that. Hopefully you're still with me, because the next part is the best part of the newest version that's coming out on the same day that this video releases. And for any of you that have been watching my channel for any length of time whatsoever, you guys know that I absolutely love anything that integrates with Discord. So guess what? Inventory Viewer now reports to Discord. So if you're like me and you're an absolute control freak and you need to know absolutely everything that's going on in your server, even when you're not necessarily around, anytime somebody opens up somebody else's inventory to view what's actually inside it, it's going to send a report to Discord. So that part, I am actually going to show you how to do that today. This is the biggest change to the plugin, like I said before, since its inception. So if we head into our service file management system, whatever that happens to look like for you, whether that be web-based like mine or FTP, whatever it happens to be, we go into our Oxide folder, and then we go into the configuration folder, and then we can have a look at the inventory viewer.json, the configuration file for inventory viewer. And as you can see, there's only a couple of options that we need to talk about in here. And unfortunately, the first one is raycast distance. I did send a message asking what the raycast distance has to do with inventory viewer. And of course, I did get a response while I was editing this video. So now I can tell you what raycast distance is all about. So when I was talking about this while I was initially recording the video, up until today, I've only ever used the chat command view INV and then the player's name. So not necessarily anywhere in the vicinity of that player. So what the raycast distance limiter does is determines how far away you can be from that player before it will actually function and report back what their inventory is. And it is set at a relatively short distance to prevent you from being able to do the view inventory command and actually grabbing the information from a player that's really far away from you and not the one that's standing right in front of you. So that's what raycast distance is all about. So inventory timeout, obviously, how long are we going to be looking at somebody's inventory before it actually times out? At default, it's set at 60 seconds. If you want to disable that feature altogether, just set that down to 0. And now we get into the fun stuff. So console logging, Discord logging, webhook URL, how we want it to display if it is reporting to Discord, and then of course the avatar that we want it to use while it's reporting into Discord. So we don't necessarily need to do console logging because I want to show you the best part of this, which is Discord logging. So we're going to change this to true. So we're going to hop over to my test Discord, and I'm just going to grab a webhook here real quick. We're going to call this guy INV viewer, and what channel do we want it to report to? And we're just going to go in there. We're going to grab this webhook URL, and we can save this and close this, and then we can hop back over to our configuration file. And because I copied the webhook URL from Discord, I can then just pasta this into that location right there. Now, while I have this on the screen, I just want to make something perfectly clear to everyone that is watching this video. All of the webhooks that you guys see me creating on screen on video, and I don't blur anything out for you guys, that's because as soon as I'm done recording this video, all of those webhooks are deleted. Nothing is still valid by the time this information actually gets to the public. So for any of you that are worried about me doxing myself or putting out information that's going to get me in trouble with Discord, don't worry, everything is always deleted before the videos ever go public. All right, so that looks good to me right now. So let's just save this file. And of course, let's reload the plugin. There we go. That looks good. Let's hop over to Discord. And of course, right now you guys are seeing my Discord screen. I'm in game and I can just run that command again. And as you can see by my Discord, as soon as I closed out of RV's inventory, it sent a report to Discord saying that so-and-so player was looking at so-and-so player's inventory at this time on this date. It's also telling you which server this report is coming from in case you're running this on multiple servers. So a plugin that was never broken is finally getting some fine tuning done to it. And it appeals to me because, like I said before, I love anything that reports to Discord. That way I don't necessarily need to always be in game watching everything that's going on. I can simply have a look at my Discord reports and I know everything that was done on my server. All right, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Remember, I put out a brand new video every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain, and we're back on standard time again. So every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So a huge shout out goes out to Whispers88 for actually giving me a preview of this plugin before he actually made it publicly available. I also appreciate the fact that he's okay with delaying the release of his brand new plugin so that it coincides with my video. I super appreciate that. I hope I can get him some good support by releasing my video at the same time. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all next Friday.